Insomniac's Spider-Man is out and about, full of things to see and secrets to uncover. Of course, it wouldn't be an open-world game without some Easter eggs and references on top of that. Leave it to Insomniac to really dig deep and bring nearly every aspect of the Spider-Man universe into its latest creation. However, the real question is, what are some of the most important secrets to look out for? Let's take a look at 15 of them here. Upside Down Kiss. With all the references being tossed about, Insomniac isn't above referencing Sam Raimi's Spider-Man films either. One scene sees Spider-Man webbing Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin, and leaving him upside down. He then asks Fisk, "Shall we kiss now?" which is a reference to the legendary upside down kiss between Spider-Man and Mary Jane from the 2002 Spider-Man film. Spider-Man 2 train reference. Following up on this is another scene where Spider-Man attempts to stop a train in much the same manner as in Spider-Man 2. When the train he's on is set to crash, Spidey webs the tunnel walls and braces for impact. Unfortunately, the webs break instantly and Spider-Man sarcastically states, "Oh, that totally worked last time." If only he still had the power of Hollywood. Stan Lee cameo. When Mary Jane and Peter Parker go out on dates, it's not always in the swankiest of places. Sometimes the two just want to head over to Mick's and enjoy some French fries. Oh, and former Marvel editor-in-chief and Spider-Man co-creator Stan Lee is there. He's a short-order cook and proclaims his elation at seeing Mary Jane and Peter together again, noting that "you were always my favourites." We see what you did there, Stan. Tony Stark. Peter's apartment is a mess, littered with newspaper clippings about Spider-Man's exploits, reminders, post-it notes, and so on. However, eagle-eyed Easter egg hunters noticed what seems to be a reference to Tony Stark. One post-it note says, "Call TS back RE job offer." And really, do you need any guesses as to who TS is? The Avengers may not make cameos, but they're still very much a part of the universe. Ratchet and Clank. During a leisurely stroll past the Radio City Music Hall, you'll notice the sign promoting the Fall Spectacular and welcoming the Quarks, featuring DJ RC. Of course, these are references to Insomniac's most famous franchise, Ratchet and Clank. Quarks is a callback to Captain Quark, while RC refers to Ratchet and Clank themselves. Not bad, though we wouldn't have minded something a lot more blatant in terms of callbacks. Symbiote suit reference. At some point in the campaign, NYPD Captain Yuri Watanabe will have to go to the police ball. So jokingly, she asks if Spider-Man could take her and whether he has a black and white suit. Of course, our hero responds nervously because the only black and white suit he's known is the symbiote. It's just another clever reference in the dialogue that'll make you smile. Pizza theme. Again, not content to include references to Marvel Comics, Sam Raimi films, its own games and what have you, Insomniac also included the pizza theme. But what is the pizza theme? It's only the greatest theme devoted to pizza, and also a song in Spider-Man 2 the game. Fun fact, the theme is based on Funiculi Funicula, a Neapolitan song composed by Luigi Denza in 1880. SANDMAN VIAL. Peter's backpacks scattered around the city have some rather interesting stories tied to them. One such backpack has the ominously titled Vial of Sand. Spider-Man himself is unsure whether opening it will set free the Sandman, a powerful villain in the universe who can manipulate sand at will, which his own body is composed of, but he's admittedly in no hurry to find out. Lizard's blood. Among other things that Spider-Man can find is a vial of the lizard's blood, which Peter used to create a cure and turn the creature back into Dr. Connors at some point. Sadly, as he remarks, it didn't last. So there's the implication that the lizard is out and about in the city, possibly waiting, possibly watching, and maybe building his lizard empire back up. Who could say? Daredevil. Plenty of references to blind superhero Daredevil also await in the city, from the offices of Nelson and Murdock to a card that Matt Murdock gives to Peter Parker. In fact, Peter talks about the blind guy giving him a card in case Spider-Man ever needed a lawyer. He then does a double take, wondering how the man knew he was Spider-Man. Oh, Peter, if only you knew how. Deadpool. Peter Parker can be quite sentimental when it comes to old belongings. He has, among other things, a page of doodles for costume designs, all ultimately rejected for the current costume. Interestingly, if you look near the center, you'll spot a crossed-out design which resembles Deadpool's mask. How would the merc with the mouth react to this obvious gimmick infringement? Now that would be an interesting quest. Mysterio. While Mysterio doesn't appear as a villain throughout the campaign, his presence is still very much part of the story, and by that we mean his outfit. During one mission, Spider-Man has to locate one Dr. Delaney, but comes across someone else dressed as Mysterio before that. He even has the smoke bombs. Uncle Ben's grave. It wouldn't be a Spider-Man game without some reference to Uncle Ben. To Insomniac's credit, it delivers a pretty good one. Head to the top leftmost part of Harlem and you'll find a graveyard. Search around enough and there's a gravestone with Ben Parker's name on it. Interacting with it will see Spider-Man talk to his dear departed uncle. It even unlocks a trophy titled "With Great Power," in reference to Uncle Ben's famous quote, but you already knew that. Screwball. Scanning QR codes may be sort of old hat, but in Spider-Man they're the starting point to rescue a kidnapping victim. Essentially, our hero has to find these QR codes and complete different challenges to find the victim. It's all been orchestrated by SCREWBALL, a villain who prides herself on using social media and recording Spider-Man's various antics for more attention. Game dev photos. In the Feast Shelter, there's a wall with photographs of volunteers. These photographs are actually pictures of the various developers who worked on the title. It's a nice way to pay tribute to the hard-working souls at Insomniac, immortalizing them in their biggest work to date. See if you can spot anyone familiar. And that wraps it up. If you like what we're doing, please consider subscribing to our channel. We upload new videos daily, so make sure you don't miss them by subscribing. We appreciate your support, and we thank you for checking us out.